Montana is a gem. Our agriculture is wheat, a lot of grains, so it's a prairie grass system. The summer before my 5th grade year, I ran a combine full-time for my dad. It was a unique and wonderful upbringing that we as a family nucleus could run a family business. I remember growing up and there was, 10 feet from my bedroom window, a sprayer would roll by and that drift would come on our lawn. It just was in the air. And so a big goal of mine is to teach myself how to farm without these synthetic chemicals and fertilizers so that our land is clean here, and then be able to honestly share that with surrounding farms to kind of keep moving that circle out.
We're in Gallatin Valley. It has a long history of being an exceptionally productive area. My parents were really interested in giving us a lot of opportunities to experience agriculture. And so I grew up having a really strong tie to this community and these fields. Soil is the basis for everything we do in agriculture. It ultimately has all of the tools we need to produce food. But soil is a finite resource. There's only so much of it, and it takes a really, really long time to build soil. And so when you lose it through erosion or through the mining process that goes into growing the same crop every year, that's not coming back.
We agree as farmers that we want healthy soils. We want to build organic matter. The problem is, and what we're running up against, is using too much chemical or to being dependent on synthetic fertilizers for the purpose of healthy soils and healthy crops is failing. It's creating chemical resistant weeds that are out of control. It's creating imbalanced soils, and so we push our ground in these monocultures and negate the diversity of soil life.
Regenerative agriculture is where you're identifying how to maximize a really complete crop rotation, thinking of how do we become a less inputs-focused system? How do we maximize the natural resources without draining them? And you do that via legumes and through good tillage practices. And then the incorporation of livestock.
The cow adds its own microbiology to the soils, and it can trample in grasses and manage weeds for us, and it's its own member of the farm.
When I think about regenerative agriculture, I think, how am I conducting practices that my kids and their kids are going to be able to come back to this same field and be like, thank goodness they did that because we're now reaping the benefits.
The big fun part is when you can brag to no end about this food that you just fed somebody and said, try this. You won't believe what this came from and what's happening under the soil.
Agriculture is a means of bettering the environment. It's a means of building soil, pulling carbon from the air into the soil, and producing excellent food.
The science is there, and the potential of soil to mitigate a lot of the issues in our climate is there. If we can remove synthetic products from our soils that are holding the soils back, and then while doing that add diversity, the more they do that, the more a plant can sequester carbon from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. People have to see it to believe it out here, and so it takes risk to try something. It's theory until you try it. My dad and my mother, they were skeptics of this pursuit. And honestly, growing up, we grew a lot of amazing wheat crops using synthetic fertilizers and chemicals. For me to turn around and produce a higher quality, higher protein wheat crop by subtracting all of those things is just amazing. It's this huge aha moment for me, and something that I just want everyone to know that that's possible. What's exciting to me is, the normal people that you think are industrial agriculture are getting excited about diversity.
Organic farmers and conventional farmers, all farmers, love their land. And they love the opportunity to steward that land in a way that nourishes their community. We're approaching this as a group, and we're approaching this as a community of people who are all looking to have the same positive impact. And I have found few things that are as impactful as where we put our food dollars.